energy.
It's the caffeine.
So Darcy, what are we doing this Sunday morning?
All right.
What are we doing? What is this called?
Okay, so we decided to start our first series of Mek Wi Talk conservation, right? So we know that in Belize we have a lot of hidden talent, so we want to take their hidden talent and put it out there. So in other words, Belize is diverse in culture and a lot of talented people that are also trying to participate and contribute to the well-being of a sustainable Belize. And this is why we started the Mek Wi Talk conservation with a crown twist. So today we have here Dr. Tejas. Can you introduce yourself and who you are?
Hi everyone, good morning. I am Dr. Marissa Tejas. I am the founder and executive director of the Crocodile Research Coalition. So I'm just going to be Darcy's little side piece for these talks.
That is a side chick. But okay. Thank you so much, Dr. T. And our invited guest, I know you guys noted that we had Monique, but we did a little switch. And our invited guest is Miss Delcia. Can you introduce yourself, Miss Delcia?
Hi everybody, my name is Delcia McDougall. I'm here in Placencia and I do fishing.
Yes, fishing. We do know that we like eat fish. Well, all of us Siambay is a fishing community, you know, and you know we all survive on fish as well too. So fish is a very important thing. And one of the things that also captured my attention when I messaged Miss Delcia is the fact that growing up I didn't see a lot of female fisherwomen. I grew up seeing fishermen. And up to now I still see it, but over the year it has changed. And when I said that she was highlighted as a fisherwoman, as a woman fisherman,
Fisherwoman.
Fisherwoman, you see? My tongue and my mind is set that way because you used to hearing fisherman so often. But today we're gonna just chat a little conservation with Miss Delcia and see why. You know, that's a very important question. Why, what, when? So Miss Delcia, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Riversdale, which is the beginning of the Placencia Peninsula. It is a fisherman community. It is one of Belize's largest production for lobsters. We tag sharks and we also catch sharks. We've worked with people like Ewart to Van Gilnet, and now we're working with a group of scientists to tag sharks and see the way they travel and the way they feed.
That's interesting. You see, I wouldn't have done all of these if we weren't here right now, which is really good to know because you said tagging shark. Who do you volunteer with in regards to
Dr. Chapman.
Dr. Chapman.
And what species of sharks are you tagging?
At the moment they're tagging tiger shark, nurse shark, black tip, white tip, ray sharks.
Have you tagged any bull sharks?
Yes, we have tagged bull sharks.
Because for those in this area, if you did not realize, we do have bull sharks that come up in Placencia Lagoon, and CRC has some data in regards of Placencia Lagoon seems to be a pupping ground for bull sharks. So that's really exciting and illustrates even more the diversity and how important the Placencia Lagoon is for Belizean wildlife.
Wow, fantastic. I'm kidding. No, that's very interesting. When I found out about there is like shark in the lagoon, I grew up in Siambay and we used to like literally swim in the lagoon. So I'm like, okay, I need to tell my nieces and nephews not to just randomly go swim in the lagoon every time they want, you know. But that's really good to know, and I'm really proud of you, you know, getting involved in all of those things.
With sharks, there's not necessarily a reason to like warn people about it because they're like the average human being. Then, if you don't attack them, or you don't mess with them, they don't mess with you. If you leave them in their own habitat, don't mess with them, you'll be fine.
Thank you so much for that advice. I think it's like with every wildlife, we should always, like, if we see wildlife out there, we should always keep our distance and just let them be, and just let it be a reminder for us that they were here before we even started building our homes. So it's all about coexistence, and I think that's one of the things I admire a lot from the CRC, because the education is key, and this is something that Marissa always says, education is key. If you remember or anything from this talk, I want you to remember is that education is key, right? Also in regards to what advice do you have to give? What advice would you give your younger self as a fisherwoman, like in regards to how women in the fishing industry are viewed in 2024?
I had a serious struggle coming into the fishing industry. No offense to the males, but I had a lot of backlash from male in the fishing industry, because whenever I would go out to sea, they'll be like, a woman shouldn't be on a boat by herself, and things like that got to me. And so therefore I kind of backtracked on my dreams of becoming a stronger fisherwoman. And my industry that I want to tap into is fly fishing. And in Belize, as far as I know, there is only a handful of women that does fly fishing. Most of them work along with their partners, and there's this young girl in, I think, San Pedro or Kikaper that is coming up that is doing the same thing. And the industry is very hard, so for any other woman out there or young lady out there, the advice that I would have given myself back then is walk straight past it like a brick of wall.
And like to go with that too is, I feel like as most women, when we're entering a field that's been more male dominated, is that yes, there's all these challenges, more obstacles, sometimes sabotage. That is something I faced as a woman scientist during my graduate years. And just because they felt a little bit threatened. Mm-hmm. And I absolutely agree. Sometimes you just have to like put up your walls and just keep going. But another thing I think that would be really, to add to your advice, is try to find other women that have already been through it and to support. So any young women out there that want to be a fisherwoman, now you got someone, a mentor, a supporter. Contact her. She can provide you the advice and start really building that group of supporters, because those days where you feel like you've just been pounded down, it's having that group of support. They're gonna pick you up, they're gonna wipe the blood off your face, and they're gonna tell you to keep on going. So for anyone, for any young fisherwomen out there, now you've got a fantastic leader and mentor to look up to.
Well said, Dr. T.
More coffee.
No, well, you ladies said it all, and I'm very glad you did. No, but I totally agree. You know, it's a man-dominated field, and like I said, I grew up seeing just males. You know, so the world is like, the mindset of society is so set on just having man or male doing this fly fishing or just fishing in general.
Sorry, Erin. We're at Naia, by the way. Sorry, Erin, we spilled. Okay.
Yeah, we didn't spill the coffee. No, but you know, one of the things. So I attended. Me and Dr. T attended a Women's in Conservation Summit. We did like a whole switch of groups, which we got to network with other women in conservation, and they all came from different forms of conservations. I like to say different forms because like I was talking to you this morning, like we are all conservationists in some type of way, because it's all about empathy. Once we have empathy towards simply just picking up a plastic bag, or simply just, oh, there's a snake in my room. Like this morning, I woke up and there was a snake in my room.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I was so scared. I thought it was a furlong because I'm scared of furlong. So I'm like, okay, let me just get the broom and sweep her out. But the snake was so tiny. So it's like small little actions that makes you a conservationist. Just you caring about certain things makes you a conservationist. So I believe that every single human in the world is a conservationist. Sometimes they just haven't discovered what their inputs are. But in regards to one of the things that I learned, that I met a lady, I forgot her name. She's like part of this fisherwoman group society, and I was like,
Veronica too?
I can't remember her name, but I was like putting a lot of emphasis on Siambite. Then I remember we don't even have anyone that's a female that does fishing. I just do like the line fishing, you know, it's like the ghetto fishing.
And like,
yeah, handline fishing. So I was like, do you guys have like a specific group? Do you have like other women that might want to join? So I think like networking is also important, because you also get to, like what Dr. T said, like it's always good to like find other people that has that same goal as you, or that same mindset as you. I think when it comes, more heads are better than one. So I think when it joins together with other people with the same mindset, it becomes a powerful thing. So I really admire you for that reason, because like I said, fly fishing, I don't have the time to just stand on the side of the sea or in the sea waiting for a fish to capture my line. That's just not me. I want it on my plate. Not, you know, we still keep it in mind.
you don't want to catch and release.
Oh, that's, you see, I did not even know that it's a catch and release. Do not eat the fish, please. Do not eat the fish. When I'm supposed to eat the fish, I will eat it. I want it on my plate. But it's fly fishing is catch and release. So you catch the fish and you release it.
Mm-hmm.
So you
So
just
it
spend
is a
time
form of
catching it.
conservation, because there is harpoon, bonefish, permit, and snook. Well, snook you can also keep, but it's not a part of the catch and release. You can also release it to go both ways. Either you want to keep it or you want to release it. But it is a form of conservation, because you are not allowed to keep those 3 species of fish. So they continue to reproduce, and you're not allowed to injure them or keep them out of the water for a long period of time. The one thing I wish Belize do is, when I was in Costa Rica, they had abundance of tunas, huge tunas. And the only thing that I loved about them is that you were only allowed to keep 1 tuna out of the amount that you catch. And Belize have abundance of fish too, and a lot of people who catch marlin, sailfish, those things, they tend to keep it, when we could also do the same thing and release those fish. So it is a working process, and I think that's where more people should push.
I think as well, when you're speaking, because that goes into regulations and laws, and I mean, as a scientist, I know like forest department or fisheries, they would look at us for the scientific data, but there's some new acts are coming out or being revised, and I know that they've done some community meetings. I don't think, like for a fisherwoman like yourself that is out there possibly even daily, more so than the scientists, like I don't think your voices are being heard enough, because your observations are just as important or even more important than the scientists that are just kind of going out there ever so often. And I really do think like your ideas in regards to conservation, because it's like, yeah, this is your livelihood, but you want to continue your livelihood, and also that livelihood is connected to culture of like who you are. And I really do think government, when it comes to regulations and laws, there needs to be a little bit more involvement of those people that are, I would say, like, for me, I say the boots on the ground. I don't know the feet in the water.
Yes, we do use boots. We use boots.
Okay, yeah, there we go. But like, I really, I think there needs this melting pot of, science is important. Like, we need the science, but I think there needs to be a melting pot, of traditional, rural, or whatever it is. I think you need both to really understand what is the best steps forward in implementing the best management for the species.
Yes, and I think that we should also look at other countries and what they're going through and how they come back from those issues, and take those as examples or use them as implements.
Yeah.
That's really good to hear. I didn't know we had to wear boots to fly fishing.
Boots you normally use when you're in the water. When you're on the boat, you don't necessarily need it. You could just use your regular tennis. But because you don't want to stand on urchin or something like that and have it go through, you use weighted boots. Which that might be the only thing I dislike about fly fishing is that there's parts of the sea that you have to walk on the shallows, and more than half the time you're crushing something while you're walking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. That's wonderful. No, I'm sorry. No, I really love what you guys said, and I totally agree with that. One of the other things that was crossing my mind as well is that when I was speaking with, was it Veronica?
I think it's Veronica.
I
Mek Wi Talk, yeah?
Yes.
Yes, it was Veronica.
She's
Yeah.
good with names.
I'm terrible with names.
No, I love Veronica. Yeah. Hi, Veronica.
Hi, Veronica. So it's exciting because like when I was talking to her, I'm like, we don't have this. A lot of people that put emphasis on it, and again, it's because we're not hearing these voices, and I think that I'm super glad that we have you here today because this will be shared, and it's also about networking, and it's also about sharing the message that we still have women here that are involved in conservation, even if fly fishing. I didn't know that you had to catch and release. I grew up in the neighborhood where we don't catch. I mean, we catch, but we don't release. It needs to go to the plate. But if you look at it, it's also sustainable fishing in a way. It's all about having a sustainable release and building a sustainable release, which is what you just mentioned a while ago in regards to the catch and release. I'm talking too much about this catch and release because I have never done fly fishing. I thought you just stand there, catch the fish, wait until the capture gets a catch, then you take it out and eat it. Well, not right away, but the whole process of cooking, which we're not going to talk about. But that's something that I really admire in regards to you and being a fisherwoman. So I have another question that I want to ask you. What if you have the power to make a change in regards to women in fishery? What is one thing that you would do that will benefit not just you but also your community?
Make the process a lot easier. Becoming a licensed guide. The one thing they don't do that I wish they did is have a personnel that knows the information instead of running around with like a chicken without head, basically, where you have to go to that one, the other one, the other one, and the other one to get the information that you need to become a tour guide or after you finish the course.
Mm-hmm.
It is difficult for people who work and take these classes to then do those things because you got to take time off your daily life routine to get these things done. And we got to keep in mind that whenever you're running around getting these things done, you're not getting paid for it. So you're losing hours at your own establishments.
Mm-hmm.
So if there were a farm or procedure that they could have go through to know every step before they even started, so they know, okay, when I do this, I gotta invest extra amount of hours or extra amount of days to get these things done rather than here, there, and everywhere else.
Yeah, I think, no offense to my lovely country, I think it happens, and
It happens in almost
been
every office.
in every different sector as well. It's just, it doesn't happen right away. But one thing that I also learned is that I was doing some collaboration with the Department of Youth, and certain things had to be signed by CEO before it gets to the secretary, before it goes to
Has to
treasurer.
pass through like 12 hands before it comes back.
So I was like, you know, it was frustrating, and I'm like, this is like taking so long. But when I end up getting the information and call the Department of Youth, and I'm like, why is it taking so long? And they explain me that it has to go through a process. And I'm like, oh, okay, I just wish they just had one process. And then he just, you know, I'm like, it's hard to understand them, but in a way, you know, I think I'm like, okay, I need to try to keep up because I'm already used to working for NGOs and not government. So
I'm already used to
so
me
it
being
happens different.
I'm already used to me being an individual. Whenever I need to get something done, I want to know all of the information. So when I go around, I could do one trip to do everything. I don't want to take different days off through the entire week or the year to get this paper, then that paper, then the other paper. I want to be able, okay, no, this is what I need. Yes, I'm going to get all of these done in one trip. And hence the reason I say that's one of the things that I think they should change.
All right. I am so excited about this. Are you more?
Yes.
No, we're going to be wrapping up. And I wanted to wrap it up with a question. Do you have a question, Melissa?
No, not right now.
No. All right. Now, before I even ask my last question to wrap this up, don't be shy to send us your message if you have any concerns, questions. If you're out there and you're also an inspiring fisherwoman, shoot us a message so that we can get you in contact with Miss Delcia. And it's Miss Veronica, and if you know Miss Veronica from Lambrica, let her know because I don't have her phone number or email. Tell her that I said hi. And yes, so let's wrap this up. Right. One of the reasons, like I said in the beginning, conservation, I think when we involve the community and the locals, conservation happens, right? I totally agree that research is important, and it's all about balance and, you know, doing the facts and also getting the community involved. And that's by getting the community involved, they get to learn about the conservation efforts that we're doing. And I think that's very important, and this is one of the other reasons why we started the Mek Wi Talk Conservation, because we want to hear from our local young Belizeans. I know that there's a lot of inspiring biologists, marine biologists, even crocodile. I know you guys follow us on TikTok, and I've seen this lady here target training a big 10-foot?
Yeah.
10-footer crocodile. And we have seen some of the comments like, this crocodile that eat sheep. But you know, it haven't eaten her. You know?
I'm here.
She's here. She's still here. Literally, she's still here and she has her 2 feet, her toes, and everything else. You know?
All of her digits can be counted.
Yes, all of them. So it's wonderful. It's inspiring. It's motivation. There's not a word to describe the feeling because it's unique. And I would love to see more women in conservation out there, more Belizean women, locals. You don't even have to be a woman, you could be a man too, you know, because we don't discriminate gender either. You could be anybody. Once you're interested and you want to talk conservation with me, shoot me a message, you know, Mek Wi Talk. Mek we put things out there because our voices needs to be heard, you know. So, Miss Delcia, before I finish it up, do you have anything else to say? Is there anything?
I do believe that the only reason I am into what I'm into is because I had a strong male behind me, and that's my dad. The one thing I wish I got in school was the knowledge about the marine or any of those stuff, because, or conservation in general, because everything was sugar coated in high school and primary school. They taught us about the resources and stuff like that, but they never taught us how it's depleting, how the issues we're going through, the climate changes we're going through. Those things aren't taught at school. So I do wish that the high school out there, if you guys see this, at least consider the idea of teaching these things in school.
Absolutely, yeah.
I totally agree with you. When I was my science project was about when I was in primary school, was about to do a volcano. We don't even have volcanoes in Belize. So you get me? You get me? Okay. So, but I want to say thank you for the bottom of my heart.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. Yeah.
We're looking forward to hear from you guys and also to hear from you. We're open if you ever need to volunteer and you need to like hang with some amazing, I was going to say crazy woman, but amazing scientist woman in conservation. We're here for you and we're very open with our volunteering opportunities. You can even help us fishing for crocodile ambassadors. Not fly fishing, fishing.
Fishing.
So,
because we're always looking for donations. But, and then real quick before we go, thank you to Mr. Aaron Crone and the whole team at Naia for supporting this talk, and we're good.
thank you, Delcia, thank you, Dr. T, and thank you, guys. Shalom. Gracias.